Peace and harmony, letting the mind drift with the current of the heart, living and living life in the heart frequency, going with our own personal flows. We doing it day in and day out. So I just want to talk right quick about this. And this is kind of like I don't want to say funny, but like, it's definitely like a paradox. Because, I've been thinking about this. I spoke on it a couple times in the past. Like today, I just had this quick insight, like really in depth too, about like how verbal communication is like dirty, the dirtiest of the dirty. Because sometimes when you're trying to express something in some way, whether it be positive, negative, it's not going to be as clean or as authentic or as truthful as if it was like a telepathic communication. Being able to communicate through the mind, just being able to communicate within your vibe. And you can do that. You can actually do this telepathic communication. It's actually in some ways more simple to develop than you actually think. It's more so just being within the now, and being within your authentic vibe, as well as somebody else being on that same frequency or catching that same vibe. Because like you can do this just by being within your state, being within your truthful self, and connecting with somebody that you know very well, or somebody you vibe with very well, or even if somebody's not even necessarily there. That's like the power of music, how you can catch a vibe from music, and you just really, really feel that emotion, the energy and motion from that idea expressed. Because maybe a lot of the time you would have experienced or had something in your life happen very similar to that. Or maybe you didn't, but you could still feel the vibration of that frequency, that energy. You can still feel that vibe just because it resonates with you on a level in some way, whether in this life or another life, But that's all kind of like a whole other thing. Just sending telepathic communications is the cleanest way. It's the most authentic and truthful way of communicating, because that's how we communicated. That's how we communicate. That's our best way of communicating. That's our truest way of communication. One of our most ancient ways of communicating. We communicate, through these words, which is what I'm doing here, and you comprehending it, right? So within that, it's kind of like a little paradoxic joke type thing. But at the same time, we can use like different sound effects or slang or coded words or clicks or kind of like that to communicate as well. That's almost a little bit cleaner than words anyway, especially with like the languages. Some languages are a little bit more I guess how you could say like pure, or I don't want to say pure, but I guess that's for lack of a better word. More, some languages are more pure. Some like languages that have like the roll of the tongue. Cause like the English languages, it's like a language just meant to cast spells. Basically, it's like a boomerang that's meant to like bounce all over the place, and if you don't watch out, then it'll strike you or something like that. But yeah, within this quick insight that I got today, like it's kind of funny, like if you're vibing somewhere and you just kind of like by yourself doing your thing, whether you're working on something, just deep in thought, or kind of just like watching like the nature of life, like in any sense like that. And somebody's like trying to talk to you, you have no idea that they're talking to you. They could be talking to somebody that's like 10 feet that way, 5 feet this way, 20 feet that way. Like, you have no idea. Like, they're just talking. Like, and it's like, it's almost like you catch that vibe. Like, I'm vibing on this frequency, which, like, I don't want to say like, I mean, okay, look, the way in my card, it was like, I'm vibing at this frequency, and my frequency is much, much higher because I'm deep in thought about something else. And they're on a lower frequency because they're asking a question about something that's in a lower nature to begin with. So that's kind of like the conflict within that. How I caught it today was just catching that vibe, just seeing that insight, how if you're coming from a lower, especially when you're coming from a lower nature with an already the dirtiest way to communicate being the verbal communication, you got like that double dirty, and we don't have nothing to do with that. We already not feeling that. I mean, maybe if you had the intent within your heart, within your mind, within your telepathic communication, telepathic speech in a higher vibrational way, then maybe we might have been able to pick up with that. Cause like that's the thing too, like even when you like vibing with somebody that you barely know, you kind of like, you already know what they're gonna say, in a way. You can kind of almost finish their sentence because they're speaking out something that resonates with you, or that that you are kind of going along on your journey as well. Like you're like researching into things like that. So I just thought that was a really interesting vibe. It's crazy too, like how almost people think it's rude if you don't talk back or answer like their lower vibrational question right away. Even like I don't know, I think it's kind of funny sometimes. And it's not like trying to be rude or disrespectful or anything, but if the vibe is not there, sometimes it's like you just don't want to mess with it, or like you almost like see it and then you're like, dang, do I even want to lower my vibration just to acknowledge this, or should I just keep it moving? But hey, that's how it goes sometimes. As you can see, I ain't got much to say. That's basically it. Actually, before I end this, also with your thoughts and being able to read thoughts and sending telepathic communications, even if you're not meaning to send it, like just a quick thought like that pops up, you're definitely gonna want to be aware of kind of like your indirect psychic attacks. Like let's say somebody walk up and they just walk up and they kind of just being like sloppy in a way, and you're thinking this in your mind. You definitely want to just be aware that that thought is coming from a lower nature within yourself, and kind of just like send them a telepathic communication saying like, hey man, these thoughts are popping up for whatever reason, and I mean no harm. I mean no harm, I mean no disrespect, These thoughts are cleansed or something like that nature. Just like kind of, it's almost like a letting them know type thing. As well as like, even just like, even if you're like grateful for, the conversation, or grateful for, just something in general, and you can't necessarily see that person eye to eye, or speak to that person verbally, send them a telepathic communication of gratitude, like, hey, I'm grateful for this conversation we had. You know, it really resonated with me. Hope it was the same for you or something like that. Like send it to your loved ones that might be, you know, like a couple states away or overseas or wherever, you know. Or in the next life, you know, just send them a telepathic communication, you know, just of love, of appreciation, of gratitude, of compassion, you know. As well as, you know, sending that to people that you see that might be having like a little bit of a rough day or something. Just they need just a little bit they need like a pick me up, like a boost. They need like a telepathic hug, if you will, something like that. Send them one of those telepathic hugs. Brighten their day a little bit. Help them get into their true nature. Help them, you know, remember where their alignment is. Get into their alignment. But yeah, that's basically it. You know, it's kind of dark in here. I don't know. But the visual coming through alright. So we just keeping it moving, keeping it flowing with it. But yeah, that's basically it. Until next time and all the time, peace, harmony, stay in tune with thyself.